Scott Pruit is? Okay. Scott Pruit is the Attorney General of the state of Oklahoma. Scott Pruit is somebody who's been under attack from liberals because he's considered the global warming skeptic, right? He says that you can't. He's not on the global warming bandwagon. He says, there's no reason to be having all these kind of fears. As a matter of fact, he issued a statement that he wrote in National Review earlier this year that the left just had a field day on. He said, quote, "Scientists continue to disagree about the degree and extent of global warming and its connection to the actions of mankind. That debate should be encouraged in classrooms, public forums, and the halls of Congress. It should not be silenced with threats of prosecution. Dissent is not a crime." In other words, he's arguing on behalf of the climate change skeptics to say, come on, there is a big debate about this, and a lot of scientists disagree, and you can't sit there and argue that global warming is some serious threat caused by man. And so that's the side of this that he's been on. He also, as Attorney General, has brought several lawsuits against the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, for over-regulating businesses. So this guy has been a big enemy of the environmentalist movement and of the whole global warming movement, right? Well, Donald Trump agreed to meet with Al Gore. Al Gore wanted to meet with Trump. So Trump invited him to his Trump Tower. And Al Gore, global warming is like his religion. So Al Gore meets with Trump. And you can imagine what that meeting was like. Al Gore probably hammered him with, you've got to do this, and you got to protect the planet, and this is such a serious thing, or whatever. So Trump's like, thank you, I appreciate it. Shook hands, they left, had a very nice meeting. And then Trump turns around after the meeting and names Scott Pruit to, are you ready, run the EPA. In his administration, he named Scott Pruit to be the director of the Environmental Protection Agency. Oh, Al Gore and the left, they hate this. But I look at this and I go, good for Donald Trump. I mean, once again, Trump is proving himself to be more conservative, honestly, folks, than I thought he was going to be. I really didn't think he was going to be this conservative in his cabinet and in his administration. I expected him to lean conservative, but I look at his entire cabinet and administration so far, and I think to myself, okay, what if Ted Cruz had got the presidency? Because, I wanted Ted Cruz. You folks know that. And Ted Cruz is hardcore, staunchly conservative. I would argue well more conservative than Donald Trump. Okay. If Ted Cruz were elected president, we all know that Ted Cruz would have to at least work with the moderates, work with the establishment, throw some bones to the centrists. He'd have to bring in the occasional token Democrat here or there, the occasional centrist moderate here or there. But we would expect that most of the people he'd be surrounding himself with would be strong and staunch conservatives, right? Well, I'm looking at what Donald Trump is doing so far, and I got to level with you folks, I'm not sure that Ted Cruz's selections would be that much different than Donald Trump's.